Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester.
And I'm John Rush.
And we're glad you're here this morning. Got a great show lined up, starting off the week on, we love doing Monday mornings on Panhandle Outdoors. Our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center. I was thinking about it driving into work. Run by and check out the cosmetology program and also the nursing program. Two really good programs I have in Haney.
You were thinking about some cosmetology?
Yeah, well, what made me think about it, I keep talking about the welding thing and all the man stuff, but there are a lot of mainly females that go there in those classes. You know, I haven't seen very many guys in cosmetology, but we can check it out for you now if you want to.
Okay.
Okay. The high today now is going to be 77, low tonight 59. The water temperature, John, is going up one more degree.
71?
71 degrees. Man, that's looking good. Our moon phases. Take a look at our moon phases. I do this on Monday. The Monday moon phases, we're looking at, it's a waxing moon, and today's the 22nd of April, the last full week of April. Next Wednesday will be May 1st, be time for the maypole dance. But anyway, I'm looking at Thursday going to be the full moon. Thursday, and then Friday night is going to be just starting going down, but Thursday full moon, so the moon's building up. So that leads us into the tides, and we're going to have neat tides today, John.
Neat.
Yep. Not much going on with your tides today. We do have about a peak in. It's going to be around 10 o'clock this morning. Of course, our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home. Folks there, when carrying counts, check out Kent Forest Lawn. So not much tidal flow today. We've got some coming on later in the week. But anyway, that's going to be the story there. So what's the marine forecast?
Marine forecast, you got a northeast wind around 15 knots. And your seas are going to be 2 to 3 feet with a light to moderate chop in the bay.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. Let's take our first break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back now, John. I know you've been doing a lot of pier fishing.
I have.
So tell us what's been going on the pier. You brought this amazing picture. This is amazing.
Well, let's see. It was last Thursday that the Kings were just on fire. I mean, it was the first day that just about everyone was hooking up. And this one right here took me for a nice couple of runs. He ran out hard, brought him back in, ran out hard again, brought him back in, and then he took a third run, which I thought was, and this third run was really, really hard, which I thought was a little strange, considering, usually by the second run they're done and they're ready to come in. And about 150 yards out, I see this king just skyrocket out of the water and then go back down, and he just starts getting chomped on. And I see the shark tail going crazy, and there were some tourists just looking out, and they saw it happen. And it was a really awesome sight. And I just started reeling in as fast as I could, and I felt that I still had something on there.
Yeah.
And that shark followed it all the way into the pier. Which probably wasn't a good thing, because then after mine, it grabbed a hold of someone else's and took the whole thing. But I got the head back.
Well, listen, how big a shark was it?
I'm thinking it was about a 6-foot tiger.
6-foot tiger shark.
What we're guessing.
Wow. Now, you understand when he's jumping up like that, that's his last trying. He thought he could get away right there.
Yep,
and a king can just catapult up in the water.
It was awesome. It was beautiful.
And but we didn't have the camera going because you were pretty well occupied.
Yes, I was, and it was way too far out to see, anyways. But then a little bit after that, I hooked up again, and this time I almost got spooled, and so that was a big king, or a big something.
What were you fishing with?
They were taking only the live cigar minnows, or the LYs are in, and also saw the first hardtail caught off the pier on last Thursday.
All right. So and we just free lining it out there?
Yep, just free lining, and that's about it. They weren't taking the dead ones. They weren't taking the snobbled dead ones. They had to be alive, and only the really big ones. If you only have the small ones on, you're going to be getting a Spanish.
That's fascinating.
The Spanish are still in there thick. The bigger Spanish have moved into the shallows, and they're on the sandbar now. I spent a little bit of time just tossing out some small cigar minnows for those. Those are fun on light tackle. But out in the kayak was a good day. Went out in the kayak on last Wednesday, and I caught a 35-pound.
Did we show that picture? Is it on there? I don't know if we showed it. I think I may have showed it Friday, but it's interesting that John's been able to catch some nice kings off the pier, and then he made a complete cycle. He's been able to go out in his kayak and catch one out of there. So let's see what we got on here.
Uh-oh.
I know this is a good story. There it is. It's up there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. This one was caught off of just a little cigar minnow. I figured and told that whenever you're out in the kayak and you're out far and you're not competing against other baits, it doesn't really matter how big your bait is. So this was a smaller cigar minnow, and it just so happened to be soaking in menhaden oil, not on purpose, but I had a little bit of menhaden oil in a cup sitting next to me, and all my bait was just sitting in that cup. I don't know if that helped me out or not. No one else caught any that was out there, but that was a fun fight.
That was cool.
About a 25-minute fight, 35-pound king.
Yeah, that's cool. How far out did you go?
I think we were about 500 yards off the pier.
Not that far then.
Yep. No. I mean, everyone on the pier was watching and everything.
So was it fairly rough? Or you have any kind of weather?
Yeah, it was pretty rough. It was hard coming back in. Got a scare. I almost flipped over. Someone that was with us flipped over.
Yeah.
That wasn't fun. But that's what I mean. You have to have a little bit of rough weather to get those kings on.
Well, and that's true. And the good thing, though, they went out as a group. You just don't really want to go there by yourself a lot of times, get in trouble in a kayak. But always go out in a group and have some people with you.
Yep, I would go out by myself, but it would have to be dead calm.
Now, I remember when your mom was down here during spring break with you and your mom and dad, the last thing she told me, take care of your son. So I'm just telling you, don't go out by yourself. I remember her saying that. That's the first thing I thought about, you going out in a kayak by yourself. So.
There's been a couple of times where, I've had to, oh yeah, Mom, we're only going out a couple hundred yards. That's it. Don't worry about that.
Okay, look, we're going to take a break, come back with some more pictures. All right, welcome back. Sitting here with John Rush, and I got some bad news for you now, folks. This is John's last week with Panhandle Outdoors. All good things must come to an end, my dad told me once, and I never did like saying, but this is true this time.
Yep.
You got to graduate, I guess. Sometime.
I know. I have to graduate.
You have to graduate. I mean, you could stay there a little while.
Yeah, I could.
It's a good lifestyle, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
But anyway, John's going to be with us this week, and we're wrapping things up. He'll do one more show with us next Monday. He's going to head back to Auburn, and then walk across the stage and get that diploma.
Hopefully.
I'm
still I still have to get a passing grade.
Yeah, you got to pass this.
I got to make sure that you write that letter for me. And everything.
I got to go back and evaluate and check out all these things. I have to think about that this week and all. And maybe you folks might have some input too. What kind of grade I should give John on this? Okay, a couple of pictures. Now listen, I want to say a very special happy birthday, Maddie Chester, my little 12-year-old granddaughter. I took her to the prom. I got to take her to the mall for a present. This is at a Mosley prom, okay? The Mosley prom. I took her up last week, and I have 4 granddaughters, and before I retire, I'm trying to take each one of them to the Mosley prom. And I put this on Facebook, and a lot of people enjoyed it, so I'll share it with y'all. I had the prettiest day at prom with my little granddaughter, and the Mosley kids were so nice and all.
Did y'all have a good time?
We had a great time.
Good.
They just, I would encourage, your parents and all to go through a lot of this, and the grandparents and all, and the kids are so well behaved and have such a good time. So the prom only comes, once in your life and all, so it's a good deal. All right, now look, let's go back. Let's get out of the prom and you leaving town, and let's look at some more fishing pictures, okay? This one right here. Captain Bart Way. Bart sent this to us. This is a 48-pound cobia. This was caught Sunday afternoon. Now this is his son Johnny, and then Cullen Hartzog's son on the left there. His name's Cleet, and then Riley. Let's see, Riley Dismuse. Okay, those 3 boys. I know they had a good time. You can see they're right off Shell Island there. And nice cobia, guys. Bart, thank you for sharing that with us. And a good time to go. You take those kids out. It's a good time of year to take them out and all. Now, speaking of kids, one of my outdoor ed students, this is Michael Duderstadt. Michael is, we got to tie in with you, John. He's going to Auburn. He's a great kid. He's just learning how to fish. He called this Saturday night, and he's a big old smile on the face. He's an All-American swimmer, legitimate high school All-American swimmer, and headed to Auburn on a swimming scholarship, but just learning how to fish his senior year.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
That you're just now getting into fishing, and then you're going to be having to take it off.
You brought up a good point. I think they appreciate it. Once they take an outdoor ed class, I'm not bragging on it, but once they take it, they realize, wait a minute, all that stuff goes on here.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael has spent so much time at swimming practice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
he'll
mornings.
miss it a little bit.
Oh, man. I mean, it's an amazing amount of time these kids have to put in for their athletic and all. You know it, and ball travel teams and all. And that cuts down on fishing time. Well, his season's over, and he's been able to take a breath and go fishing.
Yep.
And what they did something you folks can do. You don't have to have a boat or anything. They drove out to State Park, parked in the kiddie pool parking lot over there. They walked down there late Saturday, and they caught it at night. In fact, he caught it on his last cast, and he was tickled with it. So you can do that. And those redfish, we're talking about them coming in and out of the pass, and they're there. Okay. Do we have any more pictures? Is that it?
I don't think so.
Let's see. That's going to be it. Okay. All right. Now, your last week, John. What are some of the things?
Man, I'm going to be fishing as much as I can. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, I've kind of been doing that this past week too. But I got to, because I know once I get out of here, it's going to be probably maybe even a year before I'll be able to get back down here and do any more fishing. So, and I know it's not going to compare fishing up at Lake Lanier and for stripers and stuff. It's a whole different kind. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to get in as much as I can. Maybe a little bit with you. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. We got to do something now.
Yeah.
We keep talking about doing it. Pompano has been strong. I got a report the other day.
Pompano have been strong.
And it's funny, on the same day I got a report, I think you said off the pier,
Mm-hmm.
they were tearing them off the pier, and on the same day I got a report from St. George Island, this commercial fisherman had caught 45 in an hour and a half. He had found a hole, it was pretty close to Bob Sykes Cut. There's a pompano hole there, and there's pompano holes throughout the Panhandle. Mm-hmm. And they'll congregate in these holes, and he caught 45 in an hour and a half. So.
Well, that's what it's like on the county pier. Whenever you're facing the east side there in the shallows, you've got a hole that's just out of casting distance. But they'll come out of that hole, and you'll see them, and then you cast on them, and they'll hit that jig when you're casting on.
You look for a little flash, just a little flash and all, and that's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. So, what have they been catching on the pier?
I mean, it's all. I've seen a lot of pink jigs, a lot of all pink, the pink head and the pink tail, a lot of that, and then along with the white and the yellow tail as well.
Okay. Speaking of color, let's talk about that trip we had last week with the outdoor ed kids. It was fascinating. When we got back to school, I think I showed you the chart on how we actually. Y'all gonna sit that up for us? How we did a scientific study in class. Now, this is not going to be it won't hold up as a dissertation or anything, but it's going to. We just took a head count of how many people caught Spanish each class period and what color they caught them on. And I mentioned this on the show, but I wanted to bring you the color this morning and let you take a look at them. The first place color was right here. It's orange head and a silver body. Now,
I think it also matters a lot, too, with what kind of silver body you're going to have. Because you've got that kind of silver body, and then you've got the really shiny metallic silver body.
One, I looked at all of our fish, and most of these were the dull silver. That's a good point. But I caught 51 Spanish. That one, and then second place, at a very close second, was... caught 51. This one caught 50. Okay, so really and truly, these orange heads was a similarity right there. This gold one right there, and
the gold one's always been my favorite.
You like gold?
Yep, I've always gone with the gold, and sometimes I'll get the one with the rattler in it, and also they have the one with the gold flashy stuff coming out of the back.
Now, watching the guys fishing the last couple of weeks, what are they using in general?
Actually. the big ones have been coming off of random colors. The really white and the all white, and then the pink, and then the green.
Okay.
Not your regular ones, but those. Whenever you're getting the gotcha, those are usually the bigger, like the 2-ounce heads and everything, and that's what they've been flinging around.
Yeah. I was surprised we didn't see very much yellowhead or chartreuse color in there. Have you not seen much out there either?
No.
We
not really.
I'm surprised because the past few years that's been a pretty good color. And again, you have so many variables like the water clarity, the amount of fish in there.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to remember that they're feeding on cigar minnows, and cigar minnows are silver.
Yep.
And that's what they're going to be going after.
And that's exactly what I told the class. They're looking at that little flash and that little odd movement, and they're just zeroing in on it.
But I mean, the comparison between the gotchas and the bubble rigs is, I mean, there's not much at all. I mean, the gotchas are definitely a lot more. I mean, the bubble rigs are a lot more affordable and everything, and you'll lose a lot more gotchas. But I mean, if you really want to catch fish, then that's what you got to use.
Okay. All right, let's take our final break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Final segment of Panhandle Outdoors on this Monday morning. Sitting here with my intern John Rush on his last week in Panama City and having to get back to the real world. But you don't want to hear it, do you?
No, that sounds horrible.
Let's take a look at our fishing game forecast today, brought to us by Mark Coward at Edgewater Beach Realty at 832-6000 for all your real estate needs from Carabel to Destin. Give Mark a call. Time today exactly 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock. It's taking an early lunch there. Can you do that? You're going to be
I think I can do that.
10 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And tonight now is actually 10:30 to 12:30. 10:30 to 12:30 tonight. So, John, we said we're going to give away a rod and reel per day all week long.
I think that's a great way to celebrate, or not celebrate, but to end my
I think so
end
too.
my stay here.
And, we've always heard it's better to give than receive.
Oh, yeah.
As a young person, as a kid and all, we don't understand that. As you mature, though, you understand what they're talking about. So we went down to Blue Water Tent Sale and bought 5 Shimano rod and reel combinations. And I've already had people, and you can enter the contest anytime, folks. It's very simple. All you do is send us name and all. And,
What do we have? We've got a Shimano Zircos
and a Shimano
4000F.
That would be a nice surfer. Okay, let's stir them up. And we'll give away one a day this week. And our first winner, John, pick out a good name right there.
Jimmy Fields from Bluntstown.
Jimmy Fields from Bluntstown. We got a lot of viewers up there in Bluntstown. Jimmy, we're going to put
You know what? I think I drew. That looks like my handwriting. I think I drew him last time.
Okay, so we're going to write it down. That's okay.
So congratulations, Jimmy.
That's amazing. Okay, rod and reel. Okay, got that one. Okay, now. Let's see, what else we want to talk about? You were going to mention something about king mackerel.
Yeah, I wanted to, you see a lot of different setups for the kings and with your live baits. And I fish with braid, and I used to go braid to a mono shocker leader.
Right.
And I would have about 3 to 5 yards of about 40-pound mono there, and then to my wire leader, which, by the way, always use at least a foot or more of wire leader. I try and do 2 feet of wire leader. I mean, the other day we were fishing, and I looked down, and a huge smoker king comes cruising in and ate 2 different baits at the same time, and then just took off. And of course, the 2 baits that he ate, the people's leaders that they had on were only about 4 to 6 inches, and they both got instantly cut off.
Yep.
And it was very, very sad.
That's important. All that little tackle, it's small. You got to do that because they got a big mouth.
Yes,
and
they will eat the whole thing.
Yeah,
very quickly.
They will.
So what I'm asking is, what do you think? Like, is that shocker leader, whenever you're using a braid, is that necessary?
Well, all the research and all the tackle people, they went to that when the braid, they went to that shocker leader. And I don't know if the jury's still out and all, but a lot of people are still using it. So.
I mean, It's because of you don't have any stretch in
Exactly.
your line.
That's the purpose of soccer leader.
Especially whenever you have a lot of line out.
I still like to do it. So I think most of the people I know would do it. But it'd be interesting to experiment one way or the other.
Well, I have been.
And so what do you find out?
Well, I caught one off the pier with it, and then I caught the one out of the kayak without it.
Okay.
And then the two that I've hooked without it on the pier have gotten off, but I don't really think that's because of not having that leader, because one bit straight through my wire and the other one got
this week. Continue to do that. Maybe go back and forth.
Yeah,
and we'll put together a little John Rush study on Kings or something.
And I also was having a nice little conversation about light tackle and stuff with the Kings, and I think if you're off the kayak, then you can go with a little bit lighter tackle with the Kings because they can haul you around and everything. Yeah. But if you're on the pier, go a little bit heavier.
Good point there. Let's jump in from king mackerel. Let's jump into bass fishing. Okay, we'll talk about the FWC bass trophy catch. This is something really big, and we really want to support it and all. And John, what are the three categories that
you got? Your lunker, your trophy, and your Hall of Fame.
All right,
so going 9, and then 10 to 12, and then 13 pounds and greater. Okay. So where are you going to get your 13-pounder?
I'll tell you what. I know where a 14.4 pounder. I've been asked to show this picture again. People were just amazed at this picture. This is from the FWC when they were shocking and doing a bass study. Check this picture. This is a 14.4-pound bass, and if you look, I'll tell you exactly where it's at. Look way back in the background. That is a Lake Talquin Dam. And then right below that bridge is a Highway 20 bridge. You're about 10 miles east of Tallahassee there. That's those tomping grounds up there. We used to fish under that bridge, my dad and my brother and I, when we were kids. So I don't remember that bass being there, but a lot of us, we had cane poles most of the time then.
That'd be a fun bass on a cane pole.
Bobby's great-granddaddy was there. But, partake of that. You get all kind of free prizes. We mentioned later on, probably next week, I'm going to have Chris Paxton, the FWC biologist, come on. So we'll talk about it. All right? Well, John, all right. Better wrap it up, buddy.
I'm going to go fishing.
You're going to go fishing. I go to work. John goes fishing. What's wrong with that picture? All right, buddy. You have a good day. Call me then when you catch something. He's been really good about texting me and all. Hey, folks, you have a great day, too. And you do something good for somebody and enjoy the great outdoors. God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.